Welcome to Media Decoded. We like to get right to it, so let's do that.
This is New Day with Alison Camerata and John Berman.
We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and all around the world. This is New Day. New this morning, dozens of former Republican members of Congress are endorsing Joe Biden.
This is bad on so many levels. A problem. A big problem. Let me first start out by telling you what CNN wants you to believe. CNN wants you to believe that all of these Republicans have such high moral standard that they could never vote for the likes of Trump, that they're going for Biden because of his character, and they want Trump out because he's a threat to our democracy. Now, if you're foolish enough to believe this, then I'm not sure you'll be capable of assessing anything you see and read from the mass media in a logical manner, and you're doomed to be a pawn to their bidding, a sheep, if you will. The institutions that have controlled our economy and our country over the last 40 years have been big businesses like the sugar industry and big pharma, companies like Apple, Amazon, Nike, heck, fill in the blank, as well as Hollywood elites through their donating, and China. They all have enriched our politicians on both sides of the aisle. This is so that they would enact legislation that works against you, the people, and for them, big business. If you have lived in this country for any amount of time and you're not fully aware of this dynamic, then you've been living under a rock. What's worst about all of this is the fact that these powers that be control the mainstream media as well, which is to say they control 95% of the messaging and narrative that the public receives. This enables them to create any narrative they want, keeping everyone distracted, and no one complaining about the financial infiltration of our politicians by big business and the legislation they have passed in their favor. So CNN throws up a list of Republicans who are supporting Biden. Honestly, I'm surprised the list isn't longer. This list, although it isn't complete, is a list of the deep state politicians in the Republican Party. These are men and women whose golden goose is in jeopardy. Trump is a threat to the business as usual tactics which make them rich. The thing that Biden can do is assure them that politics will return to normal. You remember normal, don't you? Income inequality increasing every single year for the last 40 years. The lowest paid workers getting the same wage while CEOs are making tens of millions of dollars in bonuses, even when their company loses money. Politicians telling you one thing and then doing another, being two-faced and disingenuous. And most importantly to them, politicians getting filthy rich. People like Pelosi and Maxine Waters and Joe Biden make roughly $100,000 a year, but yet all of them are worth many tens of millions of dollars. How do you think this happens? It's clear and obvious. So this isn't a list of people who wouldn't vote for Trump because he banged a porn star. Look, we've got Clinton, JFK, and Lord knows we've seen the number of sexual missteps from everybody in Washington. These people aren't standing up for morals when they go for Biden. That's laughable. They're supporting the candidate that affects their wallet in a positive way. Clear and simple. The craziest part of all is watching liberals vote in lockstep with deep state warmongers like Clapper and Brennan and Powell, and big businesses like Amazon, Nike, and Apple. These aforementioned institutions are the biggest threat to our democracy, and everybody knows it. They've had all the power as long as you've been alive, and they'll have the power long after Trump leaves. But for now, Trump is the only thing standing between them and us. Why on earth wouldn't everyone support this president? Whether you hate him or not, he's literally the only politician standing up to these institutions. And the evidence for that is these institutions are doing everything they can to get him out of office. So I wonder, how can you call yourself a liberal when you're in favor of the career politicians on both sides, big business, mass media, and China? You are literally voting for their candidate, and you call yourself a liberal. I just don't get it. But Tim Cook and Mark Zuckerberg and nearly every other CEO running every other big business in America is very, very happy that you've finally seen the light and came to their side. Good job. Well, that's all we got for today, but we'd like to thank you for tuning in to a channel that's dedicated to exposing the lies of the mainstream media, big tech, Hollywood, and the deep state politicians in both parties. We hope you like, share, comment, and subscribe because YouTube will never help us get our message out. Instead, they will try to stifle it. So we hope you enjoy our content, and we hope you tune in next time to Media Decoded.